Hey everyone, we'll be starting shortly. I'm getting everything set up and then we'll get a good go. Good. Okay, that's all saved. That's like that. Connection seems good, so I think we can just dive right in. Hello everyone. Welcome to another stream of Phoenix Wright Trilogy. Where we had last left off, we had done some more investigation into the case with Matt Engard, where we found out a few truths which make our job harder, such as the fact that Matt Engard is actually evil. He hired the assassin, and is pretty much just a bad person. We almost got Adrian Andrews put in prison for a crime she didn't commit. She did commit a crime, but she didn't kill anyone. She tampered with evidence and tried to implicate someone. That technically was the murderer, but you get the point. You're still tampering with evidence to implicate someone. We also found where Maya was being kept captive, and it turns out she was being kept at Matt's mansion. But unfortunately, by the time we got there and found that out, she was already gone. We did find a teddy bear, though. Other than that, I think that's everything. So, woo! We're going to continue on and see what else we can get done today. Hopefully, we'll be able to actually maybe finish it off today or at least sometime this week. And once that is done, we will then be able to move on to the third game, unless there's an extra case for the second game that I didn't know about. But yeah. So, without further ado, let me just get the thing up because I forgot to. Okie dokie. And then we can begin today's game. Let me see. Oh, is it? Sound Disney picked up. Refresh that. Yep, showing up on there. I think we're good. All right. Let us continue. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I forgot I did the dream again. How did I get into this mess? That's far enough. Can't run forever. Mr. Phoenix Wright. It's the evil judge again. What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence. You are no longer worthy of your title. I've had this dream before someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove a killer innocent. Woo! March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. He's doing that voice. Okay. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me guilty today. Not guilty today, right? Sure. And I have to do the evil voice. If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Now listen up. You better get Edgar a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime ball not guilty, I'll never forgive you ever. Maya. Phoenix? Phoenix! Mia! Maya, how's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to put forth your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. Ugh, is that a cursed Engard again? Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Gumshoe, I'm really, really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal, but you're not a cop anymore. Or a detective. You can't just do that. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe. Until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we're going to do everything we can to find the killer. Wait, so if we lose, you're just going to give up? Gee, thanks. If we can get Maya out, then we can get Engard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do what you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer? If you go at Mr. Engard with everything you've got, you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all that we've got, just like you two. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. God, Gumshoe's such a pal. They did him really well in this game, not going to lie. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. And friendship is magic, or power, or one of those. Or both. It's the strongest weapon in the world and you have it in abundance. Yeah! Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through, I know it. "10 a.m. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt Engard. Again. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in that murder, or this murder. That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Engard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Then you're saying that she is guilty after all. I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell? This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Corrido was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt Engard. What a surprising turn of events. I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can. At least until Maya's safe and sound. Wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth, if you have any. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. It was halfway through reading that I realized I meant to do the voice. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, that's... I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way. Yeah. Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry. Well, but I'm just kind of nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you witnessed the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went into Mr. Edgard's room. Okay, sure. Visit to Matt's room. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Oh! Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone at first. I thought it was the bellboy. Hey, Swordmaster, welcome. Wait, miss much, we literally just started. Just, you know. Edgard just goading us. It's like, hey, you're gonna get me a not guilty verdict today, huh? Otherwise Maya will die. And then we also got information about having to try and postpone the time. Well, extend the trial as long as we can. Here for only a while only. Oh, that's right. I'm glad you could at least drop by. It's good to see you. I watched the two of them up for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of the place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. Edgard was speaking to was an ordinary bellboy. What are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? Smells like manure. But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? The defendant's room? Why did you go there? Well, I'm his mentor, like a big brother sort of, and I wanted to say congrats. What's wrong? Why did you stop? Mr. Wright! What is it? You're gonna try and trick me into a corner, aren't you? Huh? I know I'm just a poor underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer. No one said you were, Mr. Powers. No, please don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time? Witness, I'll personally talk to the defense at a later time. But for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So you went to the defendant's room and then? Hey, wait a minute. When and how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? Are you sure that was Matt Edgard? Yeah, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the nickel samurai mask then. If that's the case, then you really can't be mistaken. And what was the defendant doing standing in front of his own room? At first? What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform when he had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. Why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. I guess I'm gonna have to wait patiently on this one. You saw the two of them? The bellboy and the defendant together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Wright just wants to be a good guy. Come on, people. Welcome, Sean. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. So who are these guests you were talking about? You guys, of course. You and Maya and Little Pearl. I thought it would be literally rude, or really rude, since I invited you guys, if I disappeared on you. So I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. This is like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state. I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. Am I supposed to? I guess I'm supposed to press or present something, or... I'm not sure what to do here. I'm assuming to press. Oh. Actually, Mr. Powers, a few minutes ago you stated... you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. They're talking like before the incident took place. Well, he went there to try and congratulate Matt on winning the ceremony or whatever, the award. But he saw Matt talking with the butler or something, and then just left. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please lend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Matt gave the bellboy a tip. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Well, you see, Matt's not like a poor... Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's something that even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got into his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. It sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which one of these shocking moments I should think about. Let's go with the tip first. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little bit too much, I think. A little too much? Would you please clarify for the court about how much you would say the defendant gave the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? Ah, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash that can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Objection! The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I be standing around here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. Wait. Is he doing all of his work pro bono or something? So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment? Isn't it obvious? For the murder of what, Mr. Juan Corrida? Then the bellboy was the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card of Shelley the Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer. He is the person the police special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head, and I think I just figured something out. Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Right away. This guy's causing such a stir. Second time. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that was when the bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Miss Juan Corrida's room. Now I think about it, that bellboy did seem kind of out of place. Yeah, I'm so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much. There's all we need to know for now. Huh? But I'm not done, there's still more. Let us first establish the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer, and then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. And that would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter. All right, Swordmaster, thanks for coming by. And what time was it? Well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that, and then I came back. And then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8-10 p.m. by that time? You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry, I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all. But you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. So I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that was talking to Matt. So which room did the bellboy come out of? The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, all right. Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Huh. Let us continue with the testimony, shall we? So what exactly was out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? The bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart, he wasn't holding a tray either. You called that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Custodian slide, or try to pull a fast one? There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really, really is. There really, really isn't.
Objection!
If you two are done being school children, bellboys offer room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness' previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth. Are you going to have to do... You're going to have to do whatever you can to make this bellboy look suspicious, huh? I see. Very well. This court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. Do I press here or do I show evidence? Because I think I know what it's talking about. Because if he had just delivered something, he wouldn't have it. It would still be in the room. So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand. And there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. If we can come up with some sort of reason as to why he would be empty-handed, some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge the bullet on this for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. I believe it's the crime scene photo. Yeah.
Objection!
Here we go. Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by words of other people's, or other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But isn't he really suspicious? Suspicious? What is wrong with my mouth today? He's got all those stitches and... So, a baseball has stitches? Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also... I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look at the hair. Look at this dead body. This is the crime scene. This is where the wine glass sitting... there is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corrida's body. The liquid inside the glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is there on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it's a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corrida's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. But can you prove that Mr. Corrida was already dead at that time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I am terribly sorry. Oh, what is with him? Why is he laughing? A witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch-black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Well, actually, you were going to mention him, but you were cut off. Boy, does this bellboy really look suspicious. Alright, got to focus. Can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright, that bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe that he is just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. And now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh, yes, please tell us more. Okay. Second meeting. After leaving Huan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room, and then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and back to my seat. I almost said steak then, but that's not what it says. I can't swallow. Ugh. So the bellboy left after leaving the crime scene next... wait. Oh, so the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room? Yeah, I kind of saw it all by accident. What's with all the sport allergies? Oh, I think it auto-corrected you. It meant to say, analogies. I think I know what you meant. I don't know, maybe he's into sports. Hey, Raffatron. Yeah, I kind of saw all that by accident. Some kind of accident? I say you'd saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Go on, be a bit more up, Pet Phoenix. You got this. We've got this. Is that what you saw when you were busy spying? Yes, autocorrect. That's it. Not because I can't spell. It's fine. Excuse me? I may be poor underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from the door of the bathroom in my left eye in a sort of sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying. Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. He gave something to the person inside the room. A gun. I said hold it. Okay. That's better. Uh-huh. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him one question at a time. Ask about the person. So, who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. Well, it was Mr. Engard's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. Engard himself, I'd say. And then, what did the bellboy do after that? Oh, so after that he gave the person inside the room the thing. Oh, go back. What was the thing? Skip. Something. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? This implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think it is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the scene of the crime was handed to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... No. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. Statue? Hold up, is it the bear? What was the point of your pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. The killer delivered the bear. Yeah. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, there's something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. Yeah, that's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Engard's mansion. And the defendant's house? No, his mansion. Different. What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the Killer's assassinated Juan Corrida in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Engard's mansion would be... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Engard is the killer's client. Order, order, order. I said order. Be quiet or I'll kill you myself. Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. And you were the one that did it. I feel bad for you, son. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edwards would have. Ah, almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it's clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright, what question or point would you like to further explore? I think the bear itself, because it's just a bear. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright. This was found at Mr. Engard's mansion. However, Mr. Engard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Engard who took this bear to his mansion. What's so special about this bear? It's tiny and it's cute. That's what makes it special, I guess. I don't know. Why? That's very true. Why didn't we consider this option? Oh, we didn't consider this point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, that for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Phew, disaster averted. You haven't got the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Mr. Engard's mansion. We had this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. I can't believe it, that butler. All this time he was the killer. The killer and Engard were working together, so to speak. Well, it's Plushy. Why not take any other bears? Guess we'll find out. And the killer was hiding at Engard's mansion, as is his butler. What? A bold move. The bear figurine was brought back to Engard's mansion by the killer himself. Look at the little fella. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Engard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for quite a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can tack at all? I have to try. I have to find something. What will you do now, Mr. Wright? Do you plan to... I plan to explore the clearly shaky place in Mr. Powers' testimony. What? There's still another one? There is indeed, Your Honor, and it's quite a questionable point. Well, I'm going to save, just in case. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Well, all right, tell me where's the blah, blah, blah. I guess the person, because he doesn't know who it was. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear. And that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who that who it was that took the bear. We can't be sure of... Ah! Well, save state, our greatest friend. Yes, it is. What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, so, I remember who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm, it was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it. You've got to be kidding! Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm quite sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Ora, ora! Looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this Neil's bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt Engard is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defense, we have made that all the clearer. I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt Engard. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out like this way. After all, what Engard has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? Honestly, you'd think Wright is used to burying himself, particularly after AA1 Case 4. Yeah. Miles will raise an objection. I will now announce my verdict. There is only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now we have two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. The assassin. Reason number two, that the very same figure was found at Mr. Engard's mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What am I saying is that it's possible a different person is the killer real client. The real client? Yes. Ugh. Tisk tisk. Is that all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client and therefore the real murderer? Take that! No! I meant to press R! You've let me down, Wright. Huh? I know you are aware of the truth, and you are free to turn your eyes from it, but at least try to make some sense while you're doing so. I pressed E instead of R. I'll give you another chance, don't squander it. Where is she? There she is. Take that! It was me, oh no, it was me all along. Yes, I just showed my own badge. Adrian Andrews? Yes, we all know that she tried to frame Mr. Matt Engard for the crime. By wearing a spare Nickel Samurai costume. Ah! Then the Nickel Samurai's arm that I saw. That could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. Engard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. Engard's mansion, it was well-laid trap set by Mrs. Andrews. Miss Andrews. I keep reading it as Mrs. It's a M-I-S or M-S. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone could tell Engard did it! I can't believe that a defense would go so far as to pin the guilt onto someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. It's to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Miss, remember she's single. Order! All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor, for the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought of something strange and wondered. Or thought it strange. Why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did specifically bring... Wait. Did specially... Is that supposed to be specifically or especially? Especially isn't the right word at all. Bring that bear to Mr. Engard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness that will clear up all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I don't know what's wrong with my throat at the moment. One sec. There we go. I think that's it. It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare the witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. Whew. March 23rd, 1154. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you tried to pin the guilt onto Adrian. Oh, I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Gavin. Mr. Nick! What are you back for? Pearls? Where's Mia? I don't know. A really strong power suddenly caught her away. A really strong power? Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We're just barely found something to latch onto. Ooh, that's good, pal. What about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out whether the killer and Maya are? We still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time. If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come to this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But I've just run out of luck this time. Is it all hope for naught? A 10. A 10? I could see a circus 10. Mia! Looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe, is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. A very big circus. Oh, God. Why? Maya is someone within 300-foot radius of that main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map. About 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry. And? I could see a mailbox under the window just outside. Gumshoe, there was also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. I felt like I was in an old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her. An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. She hasn't had hamburgers for like an hour. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. You all right, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little bit longer. Woo! 12:05 p.m. I actually thought it would have been like I'd be continued, but it's still going. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one is obvious questions arises. Why this particular item? 300 float radius emerald splash. I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. And now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Hello again. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you will have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, you have ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court as to this bear's secrets? All right. Why does she... The bear figurine. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just looking at it. Adrian's must be like, this goddamn hedgehog won't leave me alone. Yeah. This figurine is a container of sorts, is it? Yes, looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Looks like there really was something to that bear after all. A puzzle. That is right. It looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. This feels like it's gone back to the first case again with the freaking statue. The thinker. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? So you can take it apart. And how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in. Oh yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, this is most interesting. He's so into it. A boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. It would be great if the image actually changed each time it disappeared and came back. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost. Or he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then, this is a present from you? That is right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let us continue with your testimony. The judge is wholesome sometimes. So, who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are many people with the same bear in this country. And they were roommates. But this looks like it can be easily broken. Especially if someone wanted to get what's inside. Well, it's a toy. But it can never be the same again once it's been broken. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone. As long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. Engard didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. Figurine updated to the court record. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize that there is one very important fact that we have uncovered, and that is this. The bear is actually a jewelry box. Now, we have agreed to this point. There is only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we were going to find out next. Witness? Yes? You are the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? Would you say she's gay or European? Well, European, I guess. Sure. Why not both? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess what it is. What that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note. Suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, and just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard about it all from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it came public. But I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it was already taken by the killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is the written on the note? That's right, at least that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note be made known. Can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. I was going to burn it, for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. Oh, what happened to my throat there? The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left to us to all. In her note, Celeste Impax left to us a record of all that had happened to her, about the bedding, about being used and then thrown away by Mr. Engard, and about being engaged to Corrida and Engard's role in destroying that, and about how she decided in her despair to end it all. And that's all Miss Impax had to say. There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Engard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for the murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word. Mr. Engard values, all above all else, his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. Suicide note added. Miss Engard thought the woman killed herself. And this time he even went so far as to blah blah blah. How terrible, what a selfish person. I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too. There is no room for doubt here. Mr. the Killer's client's goals was to obtain this suicide note, and the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems to have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. Wow. Okay. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Yoshi hasn't called yet, so you must know what you must do. I know, I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay, there are two deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find out a way of the situation through one of those. The gallows already on the judge's hand, Phoenix, hurry! Suicide note or the figurine, which one of these should I pursue? The figurine, I think.
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor. Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it. It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. The assassin took this with him from the crime scene after murdering Mr. Corrida. At the request of his client, of course. So, what's your point, Mr. Wright? I don't think it's possible that Mr. DeKiller's client was Matt Angard. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. Matt Angard is a bit... You can't just tell by looking at it, but this bear is really just a jewelry box. The chances that Mr. Angard thought the note was inside this bear are 0 to none. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly, but I didn't think of it that way. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. Because I'm special. After all, there is no reason why Mr. Angard would ever want a jewelry box like this. Order! 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 You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense is to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself, or seems to be in love. Why can't I read today? I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? Is a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? Don't forget, kids, both Engard and Corrida are scum. What? Oh, don't forget kids. Okay. What the? I thought the spy camera was in my possession. Matt Engard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And the victim, Juan Corrida, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt Engard. Ora, ora! Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I had the camera that was in the stuff bear's eye. People tend to only remember how bad Engard is. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt Engard's fingerprints were on there? Well, Phoenix, looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious Mr. Engard's learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter with that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mummy, is that man a bad killer guy? Shh, stop, don't look at him. The way he's sweating is just so, ew, nasty. Phoenix. Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What am I going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case. But in his eagerness to prove his point, he may have forgotten one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? Mamma mia. There is a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? Yes, I know what this is. I'm just saving as a precaution. I'd really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when we had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Because she wants to make me do the work. Okay? Alright, I think this is where we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Mia is talking about? Can I figure it out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? Let's do it. I have an objection, Your Honor. This was the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright. Objection! There you go. Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this one go so easily. And I'm still in Edgeworth's voice. You're beginning to sound desperate. You're beginning to sound like Edgeworth. That's what you're just imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not unlike you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me that I forgot something? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should be examining this piece of evidence. Maybe the receiver? Oh man, I think it's the receiver or transmitter. Maybe? Let me just go through each piece of evidence I have. Autopsy report, knife, photo, picture card. Although, the bear? Let's go with the transmitter first. Well, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, I do believe some special examination is needed. But I think the item that should be examined is the defense's grey matter. Whoops. Mr. Wright, after this trial is over, I would like to see you in my chambers. I think there are a few things we need to discuss. Yes, Your Honor. If you're going to speak, at least use your brain to make something intelligible. So, you're telling me that I forgot something? Yeah, you're so close. It's something you should really examine. It's your brain. I guess the bear. Whoops. I made another mistake. I guess the note then. Oh, it is the note. Okay. That is Miss Impact's suicide note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside the bear, but this bear was in my possession only until a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on the suicide note is yet to be analyzed. Oh. So, as to whether this pitiful piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impact or not, that is yet to be remotely confirmed. Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting. Mr. Wright, everyone's saying his name. Are you saying this suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin the murder on Engard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you? Your Honor, the defense is incriminating accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. But if this is fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could have solved the puzzle is the witness herself. Ah! Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could frame it to Mr. Engard. I keep saying Mr. instead of Matt. I did no such thing. Right, if you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory. Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. Have that, have your own medicine. You have to prove it to me now. That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on this suicide note? It is as the defense has stated. The handwriting has been yet to be analyzed. Friendly reminder that handwriting analysis was debunked as pseudoscience back in the 1900s. False. Or maybe. 1990s. Possibly true. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached the point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible! This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry the trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to handle it another day. I don't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Handing analysis my butt, that's just the lawyer trying to buy more time. Engard's guilty. Look at all the idiot. Can I tell you that? I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Guilty. I get it, guilty. What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello, Gumshoe. What is with him? What's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal. But the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't... For us to come this far and... Oh! What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after. Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch! Just throwing his cell phone. Mr. Edgeworth? Please, you gotta buy us more time. Court is in session. he just hangs up. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying? Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but... I'm reluctant to do this, however. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for today. Hotline of Fate, still banger. Objection! Woo! It comes in at the last second again. Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on the piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. Wouldn't it be better if we adjourned for today and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes, please, Your Honor. Well, that's all I'm asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. At the prosecution's request, the court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. We're still going! We're still going! 2:04 p.m. I think this is the longest that a case is gone, or at least a part of the trial is gone. Right, well, what's going on with the Maya situation? The killer. Looks like he got away again. 30 minutes. Can't find her in that time. Ugh. Report. Is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time. Just spit it out. Right. Looks like we just missed him, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence? You thought you'd ask, pal. I've got the things he left with me right now, and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. We don't have any time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've had to put the law on the hold for now. Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble for this. Probably get sent to prison. You know. With my hunk of junk car, I'd say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. Oh, alright. Just get here in one piece. I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. Items left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me. No one can stop me. Sounds like he had a car crash. What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We gotta hurry up and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No, we can't let that happen. Well, if there was a way we can find out where he is, then maybe we could stand a chance. Why oh why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out where he is at this moment? There is a way. That's right, there is a way. What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. Where is she? There she is, but she has a tracker. Why are you bringing up Francisca at a time like... Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have. You could do it! Francisca. Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. It's a good thing you're not a judge, you're an attorney, which is different. I know my client is guilty, but what I'm doing now, I'm pitting the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say defense attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict? Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent. They are probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. To be continued. Finally. We're in the next part now. 4-2. How long have we been going for anyway? It's kind of dark. Only an hour and 20 minutes? Okay. Let's do this! Woo! Let's see if we can finish it today. That'd be great. 2:35 p.m. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? That is... It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? Looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, you can please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. Oh! What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was written by was not written by Miss Impact herself. It is a fake. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this note was not written by Miss Impact, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Well. Looks like Miss Impacts never left a suicide note after all. Or maybe she did, and he just writ a different one. Like he tried to copy the writing and then make it look like it was hers. I mean, that's obviously what happened, but... She never wrote anything about Mr. Engard. However, Your Honor, even though this suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Engard could not have known that, and so the facts remain unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory that Engard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little bit wrong with it. Yes. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. Engard not to have known it was a fake. The camera! What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera. You kids and your fancy toys nowadays... Sir, this thing has been existing for like 20 years at this point in this time frame. If more. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. Engard knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim, isn't that right? If that were true, then this means Mr. Engard would have known that the victim had forged the note. So then the defendant knew this suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory is that Mr. Engard's motive for murder was he was suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it is not as if Mr. Engard monitored Mr. Corrida's room 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Engard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made a forgery in an unknown place? Damn you, Wright, using your own suppositions against me. That's my job. Digital cameras were pretty new when this was written. Well, actually, the cameras that provide like spy cameras, I think, are actually older than what was commercially available, I think, or something. Spies were using it essentially, so. But who knows? I don't actually know for sure. I just heard about that somewhere. Order, order, order! Mr. Edgeworth! Looks like this time it's you who has dug his own grave. Ugh. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? As I figured, it came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Engard's motive through this evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edward's stuttering? This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer one and for all the question of, or once and for all, who was it that hired Shelley the Killer to commit murder? That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists who can answer the question with such certainty. Oh, excuse me. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, who is this witness? It is, yes, go on, who is it? The man himself, Mr. Shelley the Killer. Oh, Mr. the Killer. Wait, Shelley the Killer? You mean the killer? I mean the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here to the witness stand? Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yes? Is this alright with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The killer, aka Miss Oldbag. That would be such a twist. It's like it was always Oldbag that was the killer, but no one found out because she just comes across as just so inept at everything. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and, occupation, please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I am a professional assassin. I say, what is going on here? Your Honor, how can you remain so calm? All that is the meaning of this two-way radio. Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to the court. So this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. A witness, please present some sort of proof that you are in fact Shelley the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! A voice! Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied this man is indeed Shelley the Killer. It looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too much choices under the circumstances, so... And now then, witness. There is one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Miss Juan Corrida, is that correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Corrida. Oh. Now, that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yeah, that's it. It's a bad dream. Shelley the Killer. What is he going to say? I've now got to talk in two different posh accents. Or posh voices. There is something I must state first. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by one of his belief, or by this one belief. You mean about his trust between the clients and himself thing? Seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, you ready to cross-examine a witness? Yes, Your Honor. Let's cross-examine his belief system, I guess. I don't know why we're doing this, but sure. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. What do you mean you trust everyone? That's a lie. Hold it. Objection. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please tell us about your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry, go on. Well, it appears this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Phoenix. Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about my situation. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that's why you're testifying in this manner. This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer's name of my client so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did... Yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly be... That's enough, please, no more. Very well. It is only a hypothetical anyway. That seems a little strange to me. That means... I mean, if you're about to tell us the name of your client, I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed roles. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is the trespass that I cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. Egomaniacal. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you'd let everything bother you. Somehow, that coming from an assassin makes it less comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff, just tell us the name already. Patience, just try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and close, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. Why don't you talk to him then, Mia? Anything different? I thrive off danger and dine on death. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. The person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you could portray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Trust my luck. An assassin with a conscience, who'd have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think. Really. In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You've made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. Am I supposed to press on his freaking... What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, I will, Mr. Wright. Witness, what is the name of your client and who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida? That person's name is... It starts like playing like a drum roll. It's like... Adrian Andrews. Why? I can't do all of those accents in one screen. Witness. That is not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that the killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. The Killer told him the different name. Matt Engard, perhaps? I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you are the one who summoned this witness. You, Shelley the Killer. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Mr. Engard, correct? All I wish is to help procure this acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. Outplayed by Edgy Boy. Yeah! Show him who's boss, even though he's on our side at the moment. Yeah! Prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility that the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. the Killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt Engard is innocent. It seems I have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue the discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. He hung up. Bailiff, bring me Miss Adrian Andrews immediately. What now? The way this is going, Engard will have to be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is white. White? Right. The killer is lying. And Engard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live myself if I win like this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley the Killer is certainly lying under oath. Wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie. Miss Andrews. The suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button donning the nickel samurai costume. But that's... You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impact was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the one who hurt her. I would say that you have plenty of reason to want them both dead. No. Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please. Help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? We could just go for the verdict and just end it there and be like, yeah, that's it. That's it for today. Tune you next time. It's probably not a good thing to get someone that's innocent convicted of being guilty when they are clearly not the criminal or the perpetrator, and we know that. I'll be a good boy. I choose request the trial continue. Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know, but Matt Engard is a killer and murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than Engard. Even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it's because of Edgeworth that I know now the truth, or the real truth. He would have gotten Engard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him? Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But the witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses and lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. Yeah! And this is when the series turned around and became all about finding the truth. I guess. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well, the trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please establish connection with the killer. Right away, Your Honor. Yay! Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you need from me was the name of my client. What else would you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What are you talking about, usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? You mean he's not wrong? As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planning of the knife and button. That act is what I'm referring to when I say my client had broken the rules. Huh. So this is the most unexpected turn of events for the 5th time now. However, this time everything has finally been revealed. Objection! Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question the testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here. Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then it'll expose the lies, and that's also beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. I give up. I don't want to do my job. Someone else do it. You're judge now. He points to a child. That makes 2 of us. What is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit. Yes? How much is your fee? I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? Points to a young juniper wood. If you're talking about the VTuber, then maybe. I don't know. If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial. No, I'm not. I'm thinking of hiring Mr. Wright. Yes? You want to kill me. You want me dead, don't you? What? Why would you think something like that, Your Honor? Guilty, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You are hereby declared guilty. Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah. Well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I'm the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Spoilers? That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. What? However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt. Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, and my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things easy? My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. I don't know why I read that, or I did. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan your alibi too. No, I already told you I have no intention of using your services. Ever. Judge, why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? From the very beginning? That is correct. From before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. I actually need to save it because I don't think that matches with prior testimony. Because if she knew, she wouldn't have made a drink. Objection! I was right on that. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Corrida had been murdered. But how do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The wine glass? Mr. the Killer's supposed client, through Mr. Corrida, thought Mr. Corrida had only been fainted. Which is why the glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planted, they would have never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have known or have had knowledge of Mr. Corrida's death. Ergo, then that could only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. I've just realized how big the radio is. It's like it's massive. It's the size of someone's head. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. And that's it, we just move on. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I'm positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here, I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those 2 items. Two? Or just those items. There's no 2 there. I'm just throwing in random words now that don't make sense. The request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request from my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I've made no mistakes. Well, that was short. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Request taking. Music sped up. 1 week ago? You sure? Yes, I am quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please, stop. In any case, my client has, this time, had a very specific date and time in mind. A specific date and time? Did you ask why on that specific night? No, I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's requests. But as for why, I can only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear figurine in Juan Corrida's room. I would have liked you to retrieve that item for me. You must be talking about the puzzle bear. Inside that figurine was the suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at a press conference after all. That is correct. If I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Yes. The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is... the client knew that the secret of the bear figurine... That is not what I meant by that, but sure, go with that. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet? Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that. Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony. I'm glad it didn't hurt you, though. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What is with that? What was that brief pause? Witness, I would like you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now any importance? You would not be able to look her in the eye because she's small. So you'd have to look down. Of course, it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. Killer had met his client before the murder, this is likely he is mistaken. Oh, so you're saying that this client really was Adrian Andrews? I guess so. You see, it is just as I said. I'm so lost. Who in the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Just calm down. Now then, please would the witness continue? It's like we're going back and forth. He slaps me for making a mistake. I slap him for nothing. So your client was Adrian Andrews? That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met. But if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with Mr. Killer's testimony. Well, there's nothing seems to be any strange this time round. You have to draw more information out of him, but you can't draw a suspicion. If you do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about a delicate balance. Suspicions. Bear puzzle, suicide, no. I wonder if it's different now. You go to the bear figure in. Nope. Okay, let's try the other one. Skip it all. Skip, 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 skip. What the killer said sounds plausible, but in the end, it's just his conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think it's very important. Well then, can you please continue? Please stop sidestepping my questions. Oh, okay. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I have already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face. Him, that I began to trust him. That's when I thought I could trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just important? It was very important. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Huh? Really? If that is the case... Witness, please include this testimony just now, or test statement just now in your testimony. Very well. I think I actually don't need to press, I need to present. And I need to present Adrian Andrews is a woman. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar that took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that's an impossible tale. What? Shelly the killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up about her. So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you she is a woman. Oh-ho! Well, the thing broke. Can't speak to him anymore. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified the following. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their requests. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has something to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes. Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. the Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so, he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? He assumed their gender. He must be cancelled. Shelley the Killer. This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well, but this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Otherwise, I'll hold you in contempt of court, Mr. Radio? Ah, yes, now I remember. I took the request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Juan Corrida and 2 or 3 small things. Or when I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client was a man. Wouldn't it be interesting as if Shelley the Killer is also a woman but dresses up as a man to make it seem as though that they're someone else completely different? I mean, it would make sense, but who knows? So you took this job through a letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know, I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. As long as my boyfriend over there is going to help me. No matter how strong a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Maybe there's more than one killer. Maybe? Who knows? Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Yes, now I remember. I took the request by email. Or mail. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now, let's stop this game and have a cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice on me is not going to work. Alright then, just cough it up and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such hard words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. Killer met with his client? I don't think so. No. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof. I see. Then your line of question was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor, this is the nature of right and wrong. Hey! And why could you not meet the client at certain times? Recently, I've been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities. On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times, and now the requests take via electronic mail. No one calls it that. They just call it email. Electronic mail? Do you have a mail that in a special insulated envelope? Ah, I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email. Exactly. Use the popular vernacular. Email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat down a parrot, hands down. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and? Two or three other things. Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? No, but I'm going to save before I say that. Because I've only got 1 hit point left. If I make it wrong, then I'm going to die. It would be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what it is you're pushing to continue with this cross-examination. No, but if I'm wrong, let me say first. Yeah! You know how it is. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one... Wait! Uh-oh. This is not looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. I have to think, is it worth pursuing? Yes! Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it is truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And what was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Karida's suitcase. And then what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. I found this figurine at Mr. Engard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there? I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Engard, I am sure. That makes a lot of sense. Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony? Why take it to the mansion, I guess? So Tequila says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews, but I know somewhere in the statement there is a contradiction. And yet, I know that I present something trivial here. He will cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. She's right. So now what do I do? Okay. I'm not sure. Wait, Dr. Wright? Yeah, it's supposed to be, Dr. Nick. Nick from The Simpsons, maybe? Either that, or doing another reference I don't know about. What now, Dr. Nick? Hi, everybody. I'm gonna go on a hunch that it's the bear. Witness, let's go over this one more time. You gave Miss Andrews the bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for her at the Engard mansion. Is that correct? Yes. Where are you going with this? Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly. What? This is Battle of Wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it's possible Miss Andrews to have been a recipient of this bear. Oh, man. Now that I've done it, I've already second-guessed myself, and I'm like, well, would she have done it that way? Or would it have made sense this way? I'll just do it. Shitty to kill it. Oh, I was right. If you really had given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Oh my god. Judge. Your Honor, please think back to Mrs. Andrews' testimony. I was going to burn it for her sake. Even if for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note and burned it. Order, order, order. So that's where you two were going. So by the very fact that this suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to assemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it is simply impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Oh-ho! Order! 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must be trying to break your end of our agreement. No, that's not. That's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do. Wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. No, please. Not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... I don't know what kind of scream you would do for that. What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I don't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. We keep this up, Maya, she'll... The prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even you are... The prosecution rests. What is going on around here? Did he read my mind as well? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. Tequila's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley Tequila's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. If I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Matt Engard, would be declared innocent. And in this place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Which we've never heard before, but apparently we need that now. Better bring in the defendant, Mr. Engard, to the stand. For items from Tequila's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. Can't believe it. Outcome now lies in your hands. Don't worry, I pull everything out of my ass at the end. Dude, did the old fart finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as truly innocent and a good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. Oh boy, evil voice time! So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. Engard? What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap, it's just an atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice or should I save Maya's life? I get guilty, guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Look, Phoenix, I've got a level with you. Maya is just a drain on your resources. Every day she just wants to eat hamburgers. Adrian Andrews, you bet like one time you're trying to get her killed. Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright. Save! Let's hear the defense's final statements on the matter. Also, we can channel Maya anyway. Yeah, we'll just abduct Pearls, get her to make Maya come up. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt Engard, is innocent. Huh. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right. I can't do this, but I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Engard, is guilty. I'm the one who decides who's guilty or not. Forget the evidence, apparently. We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt Engard, your client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt Engard is...
Objection!
She came in at the last second. Franziska von Karma. Matt Engard is Franziska. What are you doing here? Ow! Oh, you'll see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I gotta try and get the accent back. This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces, did you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Niles Edgeworth. A von Kammer is perfect in every way. Evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy, he's fine, and his injuries are minor. All the items are inside of this. What a filthy old coat this is. That's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for his ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. The waifu is here. I'm not arguing with that, yeah. She's here. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside the coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Because I could just do that. Your final evidence. She says minor injuries in the anime, but he was in a full body cast. I mean, he was in a car crash. I'd expect that. This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand over my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Kammer be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant the position to... Why is it when Edgeworth says we need to look at it, you're like, yeah, you're right. But when I say it, it's like, nah, I think I could just do the verdict now, even though you'll win. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will be not accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police. Oh, my throat, my mask got dried. It must have been in quite a rush. Oh yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. So among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around like a miracle. Right, because he's got it out for right, yeah. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. The first is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? I don't think so. No one got shot. Although, I do want to say, and I do want to ask about it. Does that pistol have any relation to this case? We have yet to perform a ballistics test, but I cannot say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case, at least with me. That is the pistol that he used to shoot you, is it not? That is what I believe, yes. I would think that people that are like really big gun nuts are flipping the hell out because they're calling it a pistol instead of a handgun. But whatever. Oh. I kept the bullets they removed from my shoulder as a sort of memento. At least you didn't keep it in your shoulder like your father did, because he went crazy with that. I'm sure it'll be an excellent sample for the test. So that pistol that was used to shoot Franziska, it's probably not going to help us very much. Why is it shaped like this anyway? It's a weird shaped gun. Like, could they just make it look like a normal, like, I don't know, 9mm instead of this something that looks like it's come from the 1800s? the second piece of evidence in this videotape. I bet the killer took that from Engard's mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh, yeah. But I should speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to hide it, to this hideout for it. The killer went back for it? Is it a Kruger or a German handgun? It might be. But it just looks weird. It looks off. Which is why I was mentioning, because I was thinking it was maybe also something like a... what's it called? The black gun from like World War II that Germans used a lot. I'd have to look it up, but you know what I mean, if you know what I mean. That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. His injuries... He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow, it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Surely the killer is no ordinary man. He is a superhuman. The last piece of evidence is his bellboy uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? A Luger. Yeah, that might be the word. I think that was the one I was trying to look for. Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There are even a pair of black leather gloves of the pockets. There's no doubt about it, the killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There is one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what is that? But there is a button missing from this uniform. It has a big G on it. A button. It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would prove us with an interesting clue. Bellboy uniform added to the court record. But this is all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is, who is the client? Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now. We've got a full video tape here we can check out.
Hold it!
Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Judge, we must be sure without a shadow of a doubt by examining all of the evidence presented to get the right verdict. Judge again. Oh, we've got enough evidence. We don't need to look at anything else. They're guilty. What? Make up your mind, man. You can't go from one thing to the other. You just hate Phoenix. You just want to get this over with and done. You're tired. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? He just immediately gives up. I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far, you can't give up now. But no matter how hard you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? The first... Matt Engard wished from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Or make Engard wish from the bottom of his soul of his guilty verdict. Huh? The killer always places his victims' wishes at first. If Engard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostages go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with Mr. Engard. If the killer were to no longer think of Engard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible. He is the man who values a duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would be truly miracle. Listen, from day one, Phoenix is making miracles in this court. This is not going to be something hard. It's easy. You can just blow it up like every other chance. The bigger the problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. Pieces was just shown. He's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked out for us? By just making crap up? The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge. You've seen all the pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I'll proceed with the verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids?
Objection!
I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need more evidence. I am not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then you want to show the evidence to that person? Even the judge can understand that one. Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. Because you're so passionate, I'll let you do one thing. One chance. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. Just gonna do a little save. Just to be safe. Because I don't want to go through all that again.
Objection!
That's impossible to turn the situation around in one try. Have faith in me. Edgeworth, come on. One try. That is all I will permit. I have to try to remember. Everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking Engard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show the evidence to? I like that it's just the same picture, but it's just shaded red.
Take that!
I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. The videotape.
Take that!
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. Alright, looks like I managed to convince him. He's even gonna answer us. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was sternly told by the client to not watch it, so I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you were on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted a camera? Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Shut up, Judge. This is our court. Yes, sir. Your client specified a space and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Mr. Engard, or Matt Engard, film the crime scene? The reason why he did this is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. They... wanted to see Juan get his. No. Because we know that Matt Engard had no trust in anyone. He didn't believe in anyone, only in himself. However, I can't remember if it was because he also wanted to blackmail him or just to trust. I'd say the second one is probably more likely. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. Oh, fine. I'll put the thing on. 1 second. I think that is it. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe in anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. There we go. Flashback voiceover. Hopefully that actually worked. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelly the Killer? Oh. It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. Oh, yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks in plots of how to use the people around them. Protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes? You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity. I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. So red. Ow. That hurt my eyes. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. But I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I'm sort of... I don't actually know... Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's a time to finally hand down a verdict. Yeah, look at you, Mr. Engard. Looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometimes, in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Hell. Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is this all right with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there's no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. After everything we've done, try and get him guilty. Let's get him free, yeah! No. I think originally when I first played this game, I chose not guilty because I just wanted to, quote-unquote, win. I wanted to win the game, so I just went, oh, I'll play not guilty. But I think in a realistic sense, and a more of a character sense, it would make more sense to do guilty. And also because Maya asked us to get him guilty, so you know. Guilty! Matt Engard. Even though I'm a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here. Me? My wonderful self? Guilty? Even if you had gotten acquittal, the instant you set foot outside the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it, you can't run away from your crime anymore. No! I'm guilty! I can't do that many guilties. He's now permanently scarred all over the face. As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt Engard? I have left Miss Von Karmer in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he is getting a full-course meal of whip leather right about now. Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, I felt all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she was trying to forgive him for what he did. And they're not guilty because he's a lot more petty. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. I'm a dick. You should say what you choose, Def. There's no concern to me. But after that, when I was out alone in the detention center, that's when the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Fuck. Don't smile! Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I've ever felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. Why did that feel like such a punch in the chest? What the fuck? Stupid emotions. It looks like we have resolved everything in life. I feel embarrassed now because I actually got teary. I'm actually rubbing my eyes because I got... Whatever. Shut up. I don't need to explain myself. It looks like we have everything resolved at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But for everyone else, it seems to be in good spirits. And that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. Woo! We lost, but we won! March 23rd, 5:14 p.m. Ooh, that was a long case. What was it before? It was like 12 p.m.? We were in there for 5 hours. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. We got them guilty verdict this time. But you have to look at past all that to what's really important. You now realize that there is more than just being and getting her not guilty, right? Yeah, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Kammer arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. Oh yeah, this moment. Now then, Mr. Wright, let us hear the defense's final statement on this matter. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice, or should I save Maya's life? Mia's already dead. Why did I say Mia? My client, Matt Engard, is. The only time. Is he guilty, or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer? Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you. Imagine if we chose the other one and be like, you know, what it means to you is to just always win. Right. Edgeworth. I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody. Really? Oh, just suddenly she's here. You're telling the truth. You're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. He's probably surprised that this full-grown woman just suddenly became a little girl and looks completely different. She's on her way here as we speak on a patrol car. Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya's safe. You did it. You really did it, Mr. Nick. It's honestly annoying that this is the only time something like this comes up again in the series. Yeah, I wish it came up more. But, you know, they have a whole arc coming up, so just be prepared for that after the third game. Ow! She punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. Now, Edward can't deal with energetic people. True. Where? Thanks. Oh. What's wrong? Miss Von Karma. Oh, hello. About earlier. Thanks. Ow! Oh, why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix, right? You lost. Your perfect arena record has now been crushed. And yet you are still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand. Why am I still speaking the accent? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you? Don't worry, she may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth. For my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts. Oh, great, we're going back in depression. Okay, fine. I used every dirty trick in the book so my win record remained spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then I shot someone. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all of that had happened, so I had left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. As well as you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was that in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense. We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with undying faith, even when the judge said no and threw the gavel at him. Edward had enough of the judge's shit and shot him. Yeah. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch out for every inch. I'm still combining the freaking accents. Stop it. But we will always eventually reach the one single truth. This I promise you. The truth? Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exists. But I'm sure you knew it already didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me, this man who went into hiding, isn't that right? This man who had only set his sights on victory, who had run away into the night, who had left you chaste and scared alone in the world. Is it Mr. Edgeworth, right, Mr. Nick? Also had series spin-offs. Yeah, I've heard of those. I think only one of those got translated, though, didn't it? The second one didn't come out in English or something. It was only in Japan. Which sucks, because apparently the first game was great. Hopefully they'll do like a HD remix or whatever in the future, like they're doing with the current series. Because that'd be cool. It really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me. All those years ago. When you had big man hands as a child. And you betrayed your own words. That's why 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool. Miss Von Karma. I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. A Von Karma is someone who's destined to be perfect. Considering you've lost, what, 3 times now? Yeah. Good luck with that. Marge Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are now just called Edge. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over. I think I threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. Right, stop telling everyone I'm dead. There's something else. Ah, isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right? Okay. Nick! Hey, it's Maya! Maya! Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya! We took a vacation because of your shenanigans. Oh, Nick, I knew you'd come through. You got Edgar convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. You know, instead of taking to her hospital because she's malnourished, she just got brought here just to say hi. Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. We sure pressed your illustrious trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever, whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm relieved you're all right. Hey, looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. All right. I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick, food! Grub, chow, I'm starved! I'm so hungry, even you look like a nice juicy burger with a burn to me, Nick. I'm just imagining a burger with, like, spiky hair now. It does not look appetizing. Think I'd look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please. If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick. Food! Let's go to Papa John's. March 23rd, 7:38. I think it's the same day, it's just like 2 hours later. Hey, pal, sorry to keep you guys waiting. Minor injury, yeah. He looks like he got hit on the head. That's actually worse than what Von Karma got, who got shot in the shoulder or whatever. Gumshoe, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't even think I would hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? And it wasn't a red light that got him? You did it again, city boy! I feel like my dear old heart was going to give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? If you don't stop being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it, tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Also, Gumshoe stacked. Well, come on now, everyone gather round. Y'all are ever going to get your picture taken by a genuine too many big words. Genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta's brought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go and chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, detective. Huh? Me? Really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait. Oh, that's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item? Ah, come on, y'all, it's over. But who boy, did I tell you? You're really something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? Honestly, Gumshoe's MVP of this case for sure. Yeah, he did a lot for this game. Haha, you think? Why does she look so happy about that? But being shut away for 2 whole days, weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see the Mystic Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. Ah, it sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking up something. Ah, that's Miss Von Karma's receiver. Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. I can't believe she stuck a nut tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, this tracking device seems to be in a completely different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet. And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I've had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me. He had fun? Wow! Wait. What? I just wanted to say, thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. Hey, see this gun? Remember when you were shot? When you shot someone and someone shot your father? Thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I gotta present my final thing, and I gotta be sure I get this one right, because I failed the last one. I wonder if there's anything I can give to him to express how I feel. I give him the whip! I whip him! What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. Was that Mr. Edgeworth that's left, Mr. Nick? Hey, Mystic Maya. Yes, Pearly? I think she's just stuffing her face in when she's talking. He's like, yes. I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Nick, Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly, would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me. Anyway, so who's paying for this lovely dunny dinner party? As if you needed to ask. Everyone said, thank you, Mr. Nick. Huh? Oh, yeah. I'm kind of at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kind of already put your name on the bill. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, you see? And I just brought myself this camera, good old beauty here. It better be anyhow for $3,000 bucks. Huh? What? Too many hers. Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Huh? Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Oh, you don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal, time to let it all out. This is going to be the first time I hear the real you. Which is not true because it's not the DS, which doesn't have a... Because the... Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. It's been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then, if you say so.
Objection!
See, in the original you would actually have to say objection, which is why she says she gets to hear the real you. Because the player has to say it. You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. I mean, you're probably closer to death than anyone else we know. You probably can see spirits even stronger now. But again, Phoenix is the one that's paying for everything, even though he doesn't get paid for his job. I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. I'm so happy for the 2 of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners. So I sort of made reservations for the 2 of you, just in case. Wow, thanks. Don't you do that in the DS version too, or am I remembering someone wrong? No, you can do it in the DS version. That's what I was saying. In the original DS version. I don't know about if it was on Game Boy, but... Well, pal, looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard he said things like, letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it. Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal. Does he have to pay them now, though? Is like he has to pay to work there? Oh, hey, it's you. I don't remember what voice did it for you. I'm Maggie Bird, or Bride. And retiring, only to be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, it's you. Yes. Are you here for... you're a visiting patient. I'm Director Hoddy. Recently. Yes. This girl, you know, I haven't seen her around. Yes. But remember, if I even laid so much as an eye on her, she would go crack. If I didn't matter if I got whipped, though. Yes. Oh. Please turn to a different character. Thank you. Shouldn't be able to do... like, you know... I guess because she's a child, they're just like, oh, we'll just give her what she wants. It's time to begin our quest, and to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe. Hey, Max. I don't remember your voice at all, because you were annoying. Do you think there are castles of cake and bunnies we can talk? No. I think there are talking bunnies, even though they were off at Moe's jokes. I'm having to go through PTSD again in order to do these characters. Great. Great, hi Mo. I'm ready. There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm gonna be more contemporary with my humor. Mo Curls, represent. I don't remember the voice I picked for you. It's like, prepare for the Hallelujah chorus. Say something, will you? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. Your Hardy voice is a little too good. I'm sorry. What's this? Drat, it's just an ordinary electric razor charging kit. I can't believe this. Really? How long do they plan on making me do this? But it's Edgy Poo's idea, so that means it must have been deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? It was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They used me to call me the Queen Wendy and then turned me a royalty, and they heard about this is going to be a frying pan wheel, burning and speaking, or playing the fire very dangerous because there was moles and there's something to store scenery in. The distance a train takes 2 hours to travel, she walks in under 1 hour. She's that good. She has strong legs. Stop smiling. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. See, she's not so bad. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. And some say Old Bag is still walking around the Gatewater Hotel, which is why hopefully she never shows up again. She's just stuck there. It has become difficult in this country of me is late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. You have a website? May we both be blessed with longevity. What about assassinating Matt Engard, eh? Shinji Mikami. That name sounds familiar. Here we go. March 23rd, 9:42 p.m. International departures, gate 12. Ooh, what's this guy doing on the floor? Where are you going, Francisca? How did you know I was here? With this? Oh god, that's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. Let me get Von Karma number 2. That is just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. I'm still speaking the accent. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. His flight got cancelled. When I ran off with the things into the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things? It seems he put the last one in his pocket. He put it in here. It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you gonna do now? This song's gone deeper. But that's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up. You don't understand the theme. I've gone into a different accent now. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Kammer's daughter. Franziska. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure, such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I have even thrown away my whip. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? Like, for me, I knew it was the right option. For Phoenix, I think it's like, there you go, you take this, might be important. I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride, missing you. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could take Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. And yet I lost 3 times in a row. I'm sorry, I can't not rub that in her face because, you know, I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been onto all day. I can't do words. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using these tactics. Isn't that right? Oh. Today, you chased after me and I've lost his accent. You've chased after me after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Franziska von Kammer. I am Franziska von Kammer. Don't think I'm gonna walk away in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now, so you better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Stupid game. I don't know who's saying this. I'll just go, Phoenix Wright, one day, someday. I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. It's probably Franziska. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you. I'll take good care of this 4th piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. I hope that is in the future. I don't know, because the last game I played, she wasn't in it, so. Nick, which looks like an E, but I think it's just a fancy K. Maya drew that. Yay, achievement. Character growth. There's emotional scene all forgotten about in the next game. God damn it, so much wasted potential. Damn it, Capcom. Yeah. And that is Ace Attorney 2. It was great. I've forgotten how much I actually liked the second game. Like, the second game can get, like, hit you in the emotions when it does. There are times where it's like, it gets on a bit, like, you know, the whole clown case was just annoying. But when it gets into, like, the serious moments and tries to do these emotional things, it does it well, alright? Like, stupid Adrian Andrews and Francisca making me all weepy or whatever. Ugh, hate it. But yeah, I really like those two characters. I liked pretty much majority of this. Yeah, just think if the third case was done better, it would be a great game. But because of how bad the third case is and how much it holds the whole game back, the first game still beats it. But the final case is definitely something that puts it up there to be like, okay, this is actually pretty good. It also introduces a lot of mechanics that they use for future in the series, you know, like the Magatama and stuff like that, and finding Cyclops and finding the truth. You know, all good. I'd probably add this because we've been going for a long time. But yeah, the second game is still great. I was kind of hoping that with the remaster they would have tried to tweak it a bit more to make it slightly better, but for the third case. But other than that, yeah. So that is the I forgot what the second game's called. Justice for All game done. And I think the next game is the final outside of this trilogy, which is it Trials and Tribulations? I think it's Trials and Tribulations is the third game. But we'll probably find out when we play it next time, which we will play this on. Today's Wednesday, so Friday. We'll be back with this on Friday. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this game. We'll be moving on to the third game next time. Tomorrow we'll be back with more Baldur's Gate, so if anyone wants to watch that, be sure to choose it. Come join in. And yeah. I need to go like unwind now. And dewind? Whatever, because playing Phoenix Wright games are kind of unwinding anyway, but you know, the whole last thing is just like, oh, it's such an emotional roller coaster that I need to unwind from the emotions or something. But yeah. Hope everyone enjoyed. As usual, if you haven't already, like, follow, subscribe, do the bell notifications, you get notified when I do stream. And if you want to help support me directly, there's links to Patreons and tips. If you become a patron, you get your name added to this list, where I thank you for the continued support, and I would really appreciate it, such as with Hiro Kuni. But until next time, y'all take care, have a nice rest of the day, and I'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully. Until then, y'all take... Oh, you already said that. Well, have a nice rest of the night. Bye, everyone. Bye, Sean. Bye, Rafatron. Bye, anyone else still here. Goodbye.